Before this video starts, please note that this patch analysis is from the day 1 patch and may not reflect the current state of the game if future changes are made. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you all enjoy the video. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Update Week, the series where I read and explain each new patch made to Pokemon Planet. Holy crap! This week's patch is huge, so buckle up because this is going to be a long one. This week's patch includes new Mega Stones, Gym Leader stat boost changes, and much more. So let's not waste any more time, let's go over this week's patch notes. I know the last couple videos have been Update Week videos, but don't worry, I've got something else that I'm working on. Today is the 25th of September, however this video will probably come out a few days late because I have to take time to edit. Today's patch comes from Anub. This patch includes 3 big changes, 1 small change, and a couple notes. As always, you can view the full patch notes by clicking the first link in the description. Let's start this analysis strong. I'm happy to announce that they've added new Mega Stones. I'm personally really excited for this change because a lot of them can be found through PvE, and if you know me, I suck at PvP. That was not supposed to rhyme. On top of the 9 or so that were brought in when the Unity patch dropped, they've now added another 14 Mega Stones, and I'll be telling you how you can get your hands on all of them. Consider this a little bit of a mini guide. If you don't know how Mega Evolution works, I recommend checking out my video going over the Unity update where I explain it fully. Before that though, we've got a pretty big note regarding how these Mega Stones were implemented, how you can obtain them, and some future plans for the missing Mega Stones. Anub starts by saying that they would like Mega Stones to be a Anub starts by saying that they would like Mega Stones to be a rarer reward. Anub starts by saying that they would like Mega Stones to be a rarer reward to make existing grinds more rewarding and to make Mega Stones more valuable. He also says that the addition of these Mega Stones will make unlocking content more rewarding and gives more of a reason to participate in activities like tournaments and swarms. He then goes on to say that this batch of Mega Stones have an intended way to receive them, but also have an alternative option which aims to be more time-consuming but more accessible. Let's take his example of the Beedrillite. The Beedrillite's intended method of obtainment is a 1 in 25,000 drop chance from all Pokemon in a swarm. However, you can alternatively get it as a drop in Mossy Cave with a 1 in 50,000 drop chance. So it's a trade-off of better accessibility for lower odds. So this means every Mega Stone that was added to PvP shops in this patch has an alternate way of obtainment through PvE means. Similarly, some Mega Stones that need to be dropped from wild Pokemon have an alternate method of obtainment through PvP shops or tournaments. So for example, the Absolite's intended method is through the Battle Tower for 10,000 tokens. But alternatively, you could also get it through a 1 in 50,000 drop chance from Deep New Moon Island. Old Mega Stones that were added before this patch, like the Alakazite and Pinsirite, still only have 1 method of obtainment. This note closes off by saying that this batch of Megas were added to both add some Megas into Tier 1, and also to give the game a bit of a more thematic approach. For example, Cynthia now awards the Garchompite, Lance awards the Ampharosite, etc. It ends by saying that the rest of the Mega Stones that aren't in the game yet are going to be coming in the future through either Kalos or raids. Now that we got some of that information out of the way, how can you actually get these Mega Stones? Well, for Mega Stones given out by champions like Blue, Lance, Wallace, Cynthia, and Iris, there really aren't any requirements other than just beating their respective Elite Four. For PvP Mega Stones, you can either win them as tournament prizes or get enough tokens to buy one. For PvE Mega Stones, things get a little more complicated. By the way, just so people don't get confused, when I say PvE requirements, I mean requirements to have specifically wild Pokemon drop Mega Stones. So the main requirement to get Mega Stones to drop from wild Pokemon is to complete the Collector 3 achievement. If you don't have this achievement, wild Pokemon will not have a chance of dropping Mega Stones, so please make sure you have this achievement before hunting for a Mega Stone. The other requirement is that you cannot have a Pokemon with certain abilities in the front of your party. In order to get Mega Stone drops, your lead Pokemon must not have abilities that increase encounter likelihood. This includes the abilities Arena Trap, Illuminate, No Guard, Sticky Hold, or suction cups. If your lead Pokemon has one of these abilities, you will not be able to get Megastone drops. Additionally, abilities like Compound Eyes and items like the Greed Charm have no effect on the drop rate of Megastones. However, drop rate blessings do increase your chance of getting a Megastone drop. We'll get into all the drop rates very shortly. It's also worth mentioning that any Megastone that has to be dropped from a wild Pokemon can drop from any wild Pokemon on that specific map. This includes land, surfing, fishing, and mining encounters. So for example, Pokemon in the Water Temple have a chance to drop a Gyarados. This means that you could potentially get a Gyarados drop from any Pokemon that you encounter on land, while surfing, while fishing, or while mining. Also, although it's not specifically stated in this patch, I'm assuming you can get multiple of one type of Megastone from PvE drops. Lastly, if multiple Megastones can drop on one map due to circumstances like swarms and gold rushes, there's a priority system that's been added. I'll put the full thing up on screen if you want to read it, but all you need to know is that the drop priority goes gold rush first, swarm second, and then map drop third. That's all the information that's tied to these new Megastones, so where can you find them? Well, as I said before, the Megastones that were added into the game when the Unity patch released haven't had their obtainment method changed, so you'll still have to go get the Alakazite from the Battle Tower, the Metagrossite from the Philanthropist shop, things like that. Go check out my Unity update video for more information on those. I'll only be going over the Megastones that were added in this patch. However, once the rest of the stones are added, I'll probably make a Megastone guide. If you want to see the full list of Megastones currently in the game, you can click the second link in the description. To start, let's look at the Megastones that you can get from defeating the Elite Fours. Just to briefly note, similar to the Pidgeotite from the Kanto Elite Four, if you're an old player that has already beaten these Elite Fours and want to get your hands on these Megastones, all you have to do is beat them again. Once you defeat the champion, you'll receive the Megastone. Johto Champion Lance will give you the Ampharocyte for beating the Johto Elite Four. Hoenn Champion Wallace will give you the Sharpedo Knight for beating the Hoenn Elite Four. Sinnoh Champion Cynthia will give you the Garchompite for beating the Sinnoh Elite Four. And Unova Champion Iris will give you the Audinite for beating the Unova Elite Four. Beating the Elite Fours again shouldn't be too hard this time due to something we'll talk about later in this video. I should also note that these Megastones are untradeable. Next, there's two Megastones that are obtained differently from the others, so let's quickly go over them. You can purchase the Agronite for 100 Elite tokens from the Elite Shop at the Indigo Plateau, and you can purchase the Steelixite for 35,000 Philanthropist points from the Exchanger in Saffron City. Now we get to the rest of the Megastones. Each stone that I list from now on will have an intended method and an alternative method. Something to also note beforehand, 5 of these Megastones have been chosen to be randomly selected as a prize from tournaments. So on top of their intended and alternative methods, they also have a chance to be a prize from a tournament. There's a 5% chance that a Megastone will be selected as a tournament prize, and then it'll randomly pick from the 5. The Absolite can be purchased from the Battle Tower prize shop for 10,000 Battle Tower tokens. Alternatively, it also has a 1 in 50,000 chance to drop from wild Pokemon in Deep New Moon Island. With the drop rate blessing active, the chances go up to 1 in 40,000. The Aerodactylite has a 1 in 15,000 chance to drop from any Pokemon on a map with a Gold Rush active. With a drop rate blessing active, the chances go up to 1 in 12,000. Alternatively, it also has a 1 in 50,000 chance to drop from any wild Pokemon in Ancient Cave R1, R2, R3, and R4. With a drop rate blessing active, the chances go up to 1 in 40,000. This Megastone does not drop in R5, so don't go hunt Goomy if you want this one. This Megastone also has a chance to be a prize for winning PvP tournaments. Also, hi, in the middle of writing this script, I actually got one to drop. This is the 1 in 40,000 chance. I don't know how I did it. I just got lucky. Anyways, back to the video. The Beedrillite has a 1 in 15,000 chance to drop from any wild Pokemon on a map that has a Swarm active. With a drop rate blessing active, the chances go up to 1 in 12,000. Alternatively, it also has a 1 in 50,000 chance to drop from any Pokemon in Mossy Cave. With a drop rate blessing active, the chances go up to 1 in 40,000. This Megastone also has a chance to be a prize for winning PvP tournaments. The Cameruptite can be purchased from the Clan War shop for 600 Clan War tokens. Alternatively, it also has a 1 in 50,000 chance to drop from any wild Pokemon in Stark Mountain Entrance, Stark Mountain Volcano, and Stark Mountain Chamber. With a drop rate blessing active, the chances go up to 1 in 40,000. The Gyarados has a 1 in 33,000 chance to drop from any wild Pokemon in the Water Temple. With a drop rate blessing active, the chances go up to 1 in 27,000. Alternatively, it also has a 1 in 50,000 chance to drop from any wild Pokemon in Mossy Cave Water Cavern. With a drop rate blessing active, the chances go up to 1 in 40,000. This Megastone also has a chance to be a prize for winning PvP tournaments. The Houndoomite has a 1 in 33,000 chance to drop from any Pokemon in End's Castle, like the first room with Moltres. With a drop rate blessing active, the chances go up to 1 in 27,000. Alternatively, it also has a 1 in 50,000 chance to drop from any wild Pokemon in Mossy Cave Fire Cavern. With a drop rate blessing active, the chances go up to 1 in 40,000. This Megastone also has a chance to be a prize for winning PvP tournaments. The Manectite has a 1 in 33,000 chance to drop from any Pokemon in End's Castle basement. With a drop rate blessing active, the chances go up to 1 in 27,000. Alternatively, it also has a 1 in 50,000 chance to drop from any wild Pokemon in Mossy Cave Thunder Cavern. With a drop rate blessing active, the chances go up to 1 in 40,000. This Megastone also has a chance to be a prize for winning PvP tournaments. And lastly, the Slowbronite, which can be purchased from the Battle Queue prize shop for 1,750 competitive points. Alternatively, it also has a 1 in 50,000 chance to drop from any Pokemon in Deep Full Moon Island. With a drop rate blessing active, the chances go up to 1 in 40,000. Personally, I love that they're adding new Megastones along with alternative ways to obtain them. I think it'll make grinding a lot more interesting and a lot more rewarding once you do get a drop. Oh my god, I'm only done Megastones and I've been recording for like an hour, holy shit. Next, we have some changes to Gym Leader and Elite Four stat boosts. So if you don't know, before this patch, Gym Leaders and Elite Four members used to have boosted stats which would climb incrementally. This meant that the farther you were in the game, the more insanely hard it would become. With this change, they've completely removed these stat buffs, for the most part. If you haven't noticed, there's been a trend with the last couple patches where the developers are trying to get people to stop using over-centralized strategies, the same Pokemon, or the same team for every fight. By removing most of the Elite Four stat buffs, they hope that players will have more options in terms of team building. They're trying to incentivize using Pokemon you like rather than what people tell you to use. So here's how this change works. The Johto, Hoenn, and Sinnoh Gym Leaders and Elite Four members have had their stat buffs completely removed, which is in turn going to make these battles a hell of a lot easier, especially the Sinnoh Elite Four. As for Unova, Gym Leaders and Elite Four members no longer have their Pokemon above level 100, which is going to, again, make it overall easier. Additionally, the Unova Gym Leaders will have their stats buffed by 10%, while the Unova Elite Four members will have their stats buffed by 25%. This patch closes off by saying that once Kalos is released, the Unova Gym Leaders and Elite Four members will have their stat buffs removed. Personally, I'm sorta indifferent on this change overall. If it does end up allowing people to use more Pokemon, that's great. I will say though that it makes the Elite Fours a lot easier than they were before. I think this change will help curb a lot of people getting stuck at Elite Fours. The next change we have is some Battle Tower price changes. Before we get into them, there's a couple notes from Anub about the recent Battle Tower patch. He says that overall, the new Battle Tower changes were a good thing as they allowed more offensive teams to do a lot more. However, more tokens were being earned thanks to the recent changes. He continues by stating that after seeing results and getting feedback, price adjustments will be made to the prize shop. The reason for the recent changes is that he doesn't want to make the Battle Tower harder and force people to use Pokemon like Xerneas, but he also doesn't want people to quickly obtain rewards either. He notes that even after these price changes, rewards are still quicker and easier to obtain than before the Battle Tower rework. With the notes covered, let's look at the price changes. Zygarde has had its price increased from 30,000 tokens to 40,000 tokens. Hoopa has had its price increased from 25,000 tokens to 32,500 tokens. Cobalion has had its price increased from 22,500 tokens to 30,000 tokens. The Sinkstone, a lot of people are going to be pissed about this one, has had its price increased from 15,000 tokens to 20,000 tokens. The Alakazite has had its price increased from 10,000 tokens to 12,500 tokens, and the Zygarde mount has had its price increased from 8,000 tokens to 10,000 tokens. Personally, I think this is going to be a really unpopular change among the general player base because people tend to go towards the whole price go up equal bad thing, but I kinda understand why they did it. I don't have to f***ing like it, but I understand why they did it's fine. I'm fine with this change. Let's move on to the last one. To end off this fairly big patch, the final change is a tier 1 ban and a pretty important note. The Manectite Megastone has been banned in tier 1. Ainub also adds a note below this saying that he would like to reconsider unbanning Pidgeotite, Manectite, and Slowbronite in tier 1 along with some other unbans in the future. All megas introduced in this patch besides Mega Manectric are not going to be banned in tier 1, so players are free to invest in these megas for PvP use. Personally, as a primarily PvE player, I don't really care about the Manectite ban, but I do think it's really cool that the devs are going to stop banning or looking at unbanning a couple things. And that's everything that's in this week's patch notes. Overall, I personally think this is a great patch. I'm a little iffy on a couple things, but overall I think it's great. As always, I asked you all on my community tab whether or not you liked this patch. The community reaction seems to be split between either loving it or being indifferent. Let me know what you think of this patch in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.